So welcome everybody. Welcome to our first vodcast for Female Entrepreneur Collective. I've been wanting to do this for a very, very long time. And I didn't think I was ever going to. So thanks guys for joining me. We've got a couple of very cool people on the line today. Thank you for agreeing to join us on such short notice. I just want to introduce everybody. I'm going to introduce you one by one. But before I do that, for everyone watching, for our newbies, remember to hit subscribe and that follow button so you can get the notification when we launch any new videos. And just to go over the purpose of this video, the purpose of these videos are to share and to learn and to investigate new topics and the questions people have answers, or the questions people have and what people are wondering about in business, the same as we do in Female Entrepreneur Collective, specifically for entrepreneurs and small businesses. And we'll be covering these topics in the coming weeks about marketing, advertising, business management, sales, wellness, coaching, mental health, even tech and gadgets, anything that can help us run our businesses better. So if you're interested in being a guest on the show, you'll find our email address in the description below, about there or thereabouts. And you can send us an email and we can chat about it. So without further ado, actually I watched a video. I was doing a course on Premiere Pro last week, and this instructor kept saying every 5 minutes, without further ado, without further ado, without further ado, and it's now stuck in my brain, so sorry. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Melissa Camacho. She's a social media manager, and in her own words, she loves helping mompreneurs. So hi Melissa, you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Hi there, thanks for the opportunity. I'm really excited to be part of this initiative. So I'm Melissa Camacho, and I have been using social media in my own businesses for years, and only recently started Melissa Camacho Social Media Manager to try and help other moms in business who experience the same struggles I might have experienced in the beginning to get their businesses online and get them growing online. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the journey.
Oh, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Otherwise, we have Claire as well. Claire, say hi.
Hi.
Tell us a bit about yourself, Claire.
So I am a journalist, and I started a site a couple of years ago called gadgetgal.com. I left working full-time and thought the site would be a good way to sort of express myself and discuss topics that I really wanted to discuss. Initially, it was supposed to be a very women-empowered sort of site, and it just grew into technology and that kind and gadgets and that kind of stuff, because you know, us women weren't very well represented in that industry for a very long time. And since then, because we're discussing social media is a big part of me doing what I can do and getting my sort of stories out there and getting opinions from people and interacting. So that's pretty much why I'm here today.
Awesome, thank you. Welcome. Cool. And Madeleine, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Madeleine Stander. I started out as a graphic design in dinosaur days when only print existed. So in 2014, I was kind of forced into a different business direction. I've been on my own since 2011 in business. And we started with websites and social media. And I realized what a powerful medium this is with regards to coming out of a print background. So I was in newspapers, in flyers and magazines. And when we started actually going into it, for a small business, for a small amount of money and maximum amount of effort, you can actually get somewhere on social. And that's been our main selling point. This isn't rocket science, but it does take time. So that's actually how we get our clients in. We take the time to take care of your online persona. And yes, in this time during lockdown, giving back is what our business is about. So that is why I saw the opportunity. I wanted to get involved because it's exactly what we are trying to tell our clients what to do. So it doesn't help you to tell your clients and you don't do it yourself. So here I am. Hi.
Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone. So I think the main reason that I brought you guys here today is there's a trend going on social media right now. And once I saw it, my heart went goof, because I thought, wow, people doing this. But not everyone agrees with me. And that trend is the invite all your friends to your Facebook page. So people are sharing the status, and I can't remember it word for word because it does change a little bit, but it is go to my page and select all your friends and invite all your friends to my Facebook page, and I'll go and do the same for you. So I want to know, by show of hands, Melissa, you can't, so you're going to have to say yay or nay, but the other two you can have a up or a down if you agree with this. 1, 2, 3.
I don't agree with it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we're kind of on the same page. Melissa, can I start with you? Can you give me some insight onto the how and the why and etc. as you see it going on? I know you've been very vocal about this.
Yeah. It was when I saw that this is also what you wanted to speak about, I was like even more happy that I got in on this, because I have been quite vocal about it on my pages and on my profile, and I've gotten quite a response about that as well, more in inboxes than on public. But I think that people are doing more damage to their business than they are doing good, and they don't realize it, and that also means that they are not fully understanding yet what it means to grow your audience, or what the numbers really mean.
We'll get to that right now. So hold on.
Can I ask something?
Yes, Claire, please add something.
So I just want to know, how do you think then that people are damaging their business in that sense?
Yes, so that was my next thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's exactly what people need to understand. Madeleine, your opinion on this?
I actually enjoy it.
Really?
For me, yes. It's building links that you don't necessarily see right now, but it might pay off in some weird connection. If you take the 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon, you don't know who you're inviting that might be valuable to a person's page. You know, you might just end up with inviting the correct person through a link, and also it's just fun. I'm enjoying it.
I think I hear where you're coming from a fun perspective, but what I'm worried about is from a statistical perspective. And you mentioned as well earlier that digital marketing is hard work. It's a lot of work for a little bit of money that you make. And from an organic growth perspective, I think that is where Melissa is talking about, from it being more damaging than it is good. Melissa, do you want to elaborate on that?
I think the numbers matter to a certain extent, but having 5,000 or 10,000 likes on your page and only having 500 people or 300 people or 1,000 people actually engaging in your content messes with the algorithm, messes with how many people actually see your page, especially if you're not using paid adverts, if you're trying to do things without paying for adverts, because then you already have to work harder on your content. And then if you've added all these people to the mix, there's the odd chance that you might be attracting the right people. But I think the odds are more in favor of having a lot of people on your page that are not necessarily, if I look at the invites that have come through my inbox, like 90% of them, I'm never going to look at that page again. I'm going to so I'm making a point of not liking things. I think if you are interested in a product or a service and you like what they're doing, yes, share it with the relevant people and engage in their posts. You're helping more by engaging on posts than you are by just adding random likes to a page. So I think it really also depends on how you're measuring your success. Do you want just a huge following, or do you actually want the sales or the conversions?
Yes, and I've always wondered myself why, and this is just my personal opinion, like I've also been doing digital marketing for the last 13 years, so that's also my bread and butter, but I brought you guys in to be the spokespeople, because I don't always want to be the one blasting opinions. But I've always been a proponent of having a KPI set in your business, and you can't have a KPI of having 10,000 fans or fans of your business, but only 2 people actually engaging it. I mean, that like you say, that pushes off your KPI. Madeleine, do you have an opinion on this, how it affects your organic growth of your business at all?
Melissa, I completely agree with you with the numbers. With organic growth, it's much better to have people who are actually valuable to your business. It's a small sample. It might sound silly. I follow a lady that does nails. I am never ever in my life going to go do my nails. I hate people touching my own nails. But I refer her because I see what quality work she does. So whenever people in a group ask for, oh, who's a nail lady and it's in the same area where she is, I always refer her. So I'm on her page. I'm never going to use her service. So it doesn't necessarily mean that a following that you have is that person directly coming into your business. You understand? Yeah. So it's sort of like a word of mouth, but I do agree with what you're saying, and it is super valuable. I just found that for me, it was just a little bit of light in a very harsh tunnel when people started sharing that post. So for me, it was just a bit more positivity, being found on Facebook.
I hear you. I hear that you're saying that you would refer people, but is that the behavior of people online actually? So if someone invites me to a mechanics page in South Africa, I'm based in the USA now, so they invite me to that mechanics page. Will I remember when Piet's a mechanic in Rodepoort if in 20 months' time, after I've liked his page and I'm just a dormant like on that page? Is that the behavior of the general person online, do you think? And anyone jump in whenever you want to, please.
So I think on LinkedIn as well that works. You've found somebody, you've seen a post come up, that sticks in your head, and then later on when there's a recommendation needed or an interview needed or something, that I think I've noticed that on LinkedIn. On Facebook, I just feel there's so much information and so much sort of stuff being thrown at us that I don't necessarily remember everything that happens on Facebook or where I read it. So, if I belong to a lot of groups, I'm reading about a nail technician, for instance, that everybody's recommended. Then later on, somebody asks for that recommendation, and for the life of me, I will not remember where I saw it. Which is, I don't know if everybody else is like that, but I just feel maybe I look at LinkedIn with a more intention. And Facebook is just where I scan stuff and, oh, this is interesting, and I'll screenshot that something that I think is cool. But like a nail technician, for instance, if we're going to use that example, is not something I'd always exactly remember where I would find that post. And that's why I find it a bit, I find the inviting all is, I think people are trying to be helpful. I just think they don't understand that they need engaged content, which is what all three of you have been saying. People on Facebook need engaged content.
Especially if they don't have the money to promote. Especially if they don't have the money to promote their content.
Yeah.
And I also think the platforms are going to figure this out very quickly, and there's going to be, we're all going to be pulled back once more to something else, or, the Facebook won't be free for much longer. Those things are always rolling around for always and ever. So I just feel, a lot of these things that we think we are duping the system doesn't necessarily always work in our favor.
I was thinking that exact thing. The other day. It's like, how long is it going to take Facebook to now be even more strict on those kind of algorithms, now that everyone's added all these extra numbers? They're probably going to make you work harder for your engagement. Yeah,
especially for your organic engagement and for your organic growth. And I think that's the most important thing that I've found, that entrepreneurs look. An entrepreneur has to do almost everything themselves. Yeah. You build your own website, you create your own marketing, you create your own content, and you follow people like us who give the advice and who show you the how-tos and the what to use and the when to use it and the strategy behind it. And then when you get some budget, then you pay someone to create content for you. And usually that's a graphic designer or a videographer, because that's not the skill set, because people think they can still do digital marketing on their own completely. And then when they do it and it fails, they go, oh, it just doesn't work. But for a small business, organic reach and organic growth and organic engagement is so important, because I think their budgets are so small. what have you found are the minimum budgets that people actually spend as entrepreneurs, guys?
250 Rand, to be exact.
A month?
Yes, or like on, let's say they've got a product that they want to promote, or like a special or something. We deal with a lot of, or we used to deal with a lot of people that have like super small budgets, you know, startups, that type of thing. And if you go literally less than 250 Rand, you're actually throwing that money away, because you're not getting a lot of engagement or reach. It's sort of a bit of a waste.
Is that per post, or is that promoting your page, or is that for reach, or what would be the goal there for that business?
What we usually do is we try to make it very specific. So we try to do link it up with your website, so that you actually have a conversion tunnel happening. So that you have a click through to a website that you can actually say, listen, we set it up for a conversion ad as well. So that you don't just have like a bunch of reach and nothing is happening specifically. And also then you just need to monitor what's happening every single day. Is there click-throughs? Is there conversion? What's happening? Is the ad working? Is the person going to the page? Are they not buying on the page? You know, where does your message need to be honed and fine-tuned to get a person to actually get the most out of their money for the budget?
Got it.
We started up with no money, so we know how it feels.
Got it. Clear?
So now, what I wanted to say is, in 250 Rand, although it seems like a lot of, I mean, it's like what, shop, you know, going shopping or something like that. But you know, 250 Rand is an affordable way to put some money back into your business and get your brand, your name, whatever out there. I mean, when I started out, I went to someone for advice, and she eventually said she'll put something together for me, and it was something like 8,000 Rand or 10,000 Rand a month she wanted from me, not even for just the social media budget. And like, I came back and I was like, oh, that's what she charges. And then when I started working with these things myself, because I mean, I wasn't completely stupid where Facebook was concerned. I think that put me off initially to get anyone else involved. And I think that probably happens to a lot of people. They are quoted a huge amount of money, and then people like you guys suffer because nobody's coming, or nobody can come, or thinks they can't come and to you to afford it anymore. And I just think that's a great point to make, that 250 Rand a month is not a bad budget, or 250 Rand a post. It's not, you know, it's doable for most people.
Exactly.
Especially if you're going to generate from it, you know?
Yes. I'm just wondering if 250 Rand, depending on your KPI. So your KPI, or key performance indicator, I think that's what it stands for. I just know the acronym.
Yes.
But if it also depends on which industry, because the cost per click per industry is different. So the budget kind of differs where you go. But I think the main thing that people are after here, and the one thing that we always chase as digital marketers and business owners, is organic growth. And this trend that's going on is, I think it's got good intentions as an organic growth platform, but from a growing it organically and having trust in that brand that you like, or that you refer, because here you're actually referring someone. You're referring someone on the good graces and saying, I know this person, I trust this person. So if you're just going to refer anybody, does that belittle your, what is the word I'm looking for? Does that make you
take away from?
Does that make
take away from you?
Yes. But does that make you a trustworthy referrer of people to a business?
Well, exactly.
But there are other organic ways as well. So I think one of the things that we can say to people while we're on this call, because some might say this is a great thing, others might say it's not a great thing, but what are other ways of organically growing your business on social media, specifically Facebook? Because I feel Facebook is the most
user-friendly.
Yes, user-friendly and relevant platform for small businesses. So what, in your opinions, would be the best way to organically grow your platforms?
I think
Yes,
Go,
Melissa.
Melissa.
Sorry, it's difficult because you can't see me. I don't know when I'm going to start talking. The I've been finding some success at this stage with starting with paid advertising on a small budget, like you said, but making sure that my targeting is very, very specific. And I've found that you can almost get posts to get their own life after that if you just start them well. If you start by promoting it, and it starts being shared, and comments starts coming in, and the likes and loves and things start coming in, it keeps going for a while, even when the advert runs out. So that has helped a few of my clients quite a bit, just to, with minimum budget, get something going. But in terms of getting true organic without any paid, I think your biggest thing is always going to be knowing your audience, knowing who it is that you speak to, and adding value. Just always adding value. I think value is always going to trump any algorithm. It's if you are adding value and people keep coming back to that.
What do you mean with value, though? Let's discuss that a little bit so people can actually understand what the value is that they can add.
I think we often want to just speak about our product or service, and we end up spamming people. We get so excited about our product or our service that that's all that we post about, that's all that we talk about. And yes, that's where we want to get people. But I work with a travel agent, for instance, and especially in this time, it doesn't help that we're advertising her packages at this stage. No one's going to buy, but we can be sharing things you can be doing online, just in her industry, information that's valuable to her clients, how to plan your next trip, how to I think if you know your client, if you know your ideal client, you know what appeals to them, more general things that engage them and make them come back. And when you then do put your offer on the table, they're more likely to respond to that positively.
100% agree. That's exactly the way that we handle it as well. That's perfect.
And when it comes, sorry, Claire, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so what about engagement? I've noticed that spending a lot of time commenting on other people's stuff, suggesting things to people. We've been down this road sort of in the last conversation the conversation 10 minutes ago. But just, if you're on an I Love Something group as a company or as a person, could you not sort of, recommend, do you not think that engaging with other people is also important? I mean, not just making your content interesting to people, but maybe, somebody's looking for a plumber, you represent a plumber, this is what they've got. I don't know if that's something that actually still works, because I know for my personal stuff, or for me, I've been tagged into a lot of things on what do you think about this and what do you think about that. So I don't know if that works for all sorts of small. I suppose it depends what sort of company you run. No?
Anyone else?
I think engagement definitely plays a big role, yeah.
Okay.
Claire, are you specifically asking to just comment, like, let's say I know a guy, the groups I know a guy, just to go on and just put yourself there when someone is asking for something, or actually engaging in giving advice?
I don't know. Do you recommend doing both or neither?
Yes. Giving advice. Okay, the way that we structure posts is exactly as Melissa said. You have sort of extra content that you're giving to the client that builds trust, to a person who is following your page, so they're actually not getting sold the whole time on their feed, because that just makes people run away. They unlike you. But yes, doing things like engaging in communities where there is, like this page, where you can go and give advice. You're not allowed to sell. So what does that bring you? It brings trust and opportunities. So yes, I feel that it is extremely important for you to be continually building community, building trust in a social platform where it's unpaid SEO, because you need to stand out in some way or other. And people don't buy brand, they buy you. So if you can get them sold on why you, they will always come back. And building a relationship with people and having emotional attachment to a certain person.
I hear you.
That is what makes them come back as recurring person at the end of the day.
Yes. And I think this is where this comes full circle back to the trend again. And because if we are just going to invite people willy-nilly to our brands, or ask someone, if I'm going to ask my mom, invite all your friends to my digital marketing page, I'm going to have so many people on there that just aren't interested, that isn't a viable customer, that isn't in my audience or isn't my ideal customer. I just think from a, and this is lingo, of course, but I think from an API perspective on Facebook is going to go like, what are you doing? So if I'm going to have to, if I'm going to have to target my audience again from a paid perspective and have my small little budget, that little bit that I've got available every single month, and Facebook looks at my Facebook fans, and I target to my fans, or I target to the people that I want to target for my business, Facebook's going to go, hey, hold up a seckie. I'm going to tell everyone that is kind of like your audience on your Facebook, which has nothing to do with my product or service whatsoever, about your products and service, which means I'm actually promoting, even organically, even from a paid perspective, to an audience that isn't interested in my business. And I think that's where the problem lies in with us.
So here's my suggestion. Let's change the message. Let's still do the challenge, but tell people, please invite someone who you think could benefit from my service.
I hear you. Melissa, do you think the message should be changed, or do you think that it should stop?
I think well, what I've been sharing is that I think if you see a product or service that, like Madeleine was saying, if you see something that you know someone, like if you specifically refer someone, that works. But I think that general, let's just add everyone, because it's a trend, people aren't thinking about it. It's still fine if you're thinking about it, if you like conscious about what you're doing and you're actually going through your friends list and ticking the people that you think would be relevant to that page. But because it's a trend, it's a click invite all, and like you say, like people that are way out of your ideal client range is going to end up on your page. And I must say, I've been getting more response to me inviting people specifically, or when they've engaged. So that's what I would suggest, is put out the content that people are going to engage with, and when you get that engagement, go and invite those specific people to like your page if they're not liking it already. And with that, we've seen quite a bit of growth in this time, targeting our content and then actually inviting the people that are interacting. So they're already showing interest. They're going to be much more likely to be your ideal client.
Got it. Okay, so I think what we've come to the conclusion of is it can be a good and can be a bad trend. It has its positives and its negatives, but the way around this would be have a small paid budget that you actually promote. And I don't know about your guys' opinion, but to me, always have your paid budget always on, have it running so that people can always see your business, relevant people. Have very specific targeted well, have a targeted audience on your paid adverts, add value. So don't spam people, add real value. And especially in times like these when we can't sell to people because they can't specifically use our services, be it a nail technician, be it an HR consultant, be it a business coach, whatever it is, create relevant content for people to remember you so you can still stay active in their feed. And then lastly, know who your customer is, because if you don't know who your customer is, you can't have the relevant people on your page. Anything else you would add from this trend, not specific other social media trends, but from this specific trend that you would add to that?
I want to know why nobody's liking my page. I'm kind of offended.
Do
I have to put it out there? Do I have to post it out there and go, guys, I'm not part of this. I want to be part of the trend.
FOMO, digital FOMO.
Total, always.
Melissa, anything you'd like to add to that from a tips perspective, ways around this?
Yeah, I think what we've said basically, and I also think it's a good time to if you don't know your audience, to really to take time to get to know your audience, because they've probably changed in the last few weeks. Their needs and wants have changed. So I think, yeah, just the things that you mentioned that we summarized is what I would suggest, John.
Cool. And Madeleine, very quickly from you, anything else that we've left out that you would add to that?
Just content is king. If this trend is going around, you're going to end up with people on your page. You need to give them the content that the people who do see you don't forget you, and that they actually remember you. So you need to have something that does give back to them. So ride the wave if it's happening. The ball's in your court now.
Yes.
You might be able to do something about it. We can always pick up our audiences after this whole thing has been done. But if you do get a bunch of likes, make sure that you're engaging on a personal level with the people, giving them something that they need. So I feel there's super pros, super cons that's, out there, but that's my opinion.
Okay, cool. So guys, I also asked you for 3 things that you think that social media or that businesses and entrepreneurs need to do from a social media and digital marketing perspective before this lockdown is finished. Because I think a lot of people are sitting in their homes and they're going, my whole business is changing. I can't do business. I can't get money in. But I think we have a golden opportunity sitting on us, and we have the time now to actually do things that we've always had on our little business bucket list that we could do. So Melissa, I'm going to start with you. What are the 3 things that you think from a social and digital perspective that businesses and entrepreneurs need to do before the lockdown ends?
I think the first thing is what I mentioned just now, is to relook, or to have a look, if you haven't done it before, at who your target market is, who your ideal client is. And if you've had that picture, to revisit that picture. Because I think everyone's ideal client, everyone's client's pain points has changed to a certain extent going through this. So to revisit your ideal client, and then to make sure that your content is aimed at them. And then I think this is really a good time to get visible. There's so many more eyes on social media at the moment. So it really is a good time to get visible. And I've been advising people to get on video, like get on live, get on video, get your face visible, because there is all these trends happening. Your content is drowning in a sea of people swallowing eggs and inviting people to like their pages. So you have to do something that stands out at this stage. And then I think just from a behind the scenes point of view, is to really streamline your business. Look at your expenses, look at your bottom line, see how you can really streamline things going forward. And because I think we're all going to have to adjust how we do things now. So it's really good to at least sort it out in your head. But if you're working with digital content, go through your content and have a bit of a cleanup. Make sure that you're not using irrelevant things anymore. Just a little bit of a behind the scenes cleanup, before you get thrown back into whatever the new normal is going to look like.
And from your side, Claire, what would you suggest, the top 3 things?
Okay, so I've only got 2 really, but I could maybe go into 3. So the one thing I would say is, it's a good time to sort of educate yourself. You can do a few free courses about Facebook, about just to get a handle on stuff, just so that you don't feel completely overwhelmed when you have to go back to it. I mean, now is the time to give yourself the time to learn things. And, if you want to take a quick photography course or anything that'll build your business into something a little bit better, I think is great. I mean, Facebook has a whole bunch, Google, Facebook, everyone, they all have a whole bunch of free courses you can do. YouTube has a creator thing. There's a lot of, what's Facebook's called? Blueprint, I think.
Blueprint, yes.
So you just look it up and you can go through things, and some of the stuff you're like, oh my God, I know this. And other stuff you really just think, oh wow, I never thought about it that way. So I think that's very important. And the other thing, which is maybe not just for now, it's for always, I think you have to be conscious of what you are putting out all the time. All 3 of you have said people just slap stuff up and expect it to be engaged with and all that kind of stuff. And I'm guilty of doing the same thing. Quickly put up a post and, let's see if people share it or whatever it is. But I think you have to be conscious of what you're putting out there all the time. You have to be conscious of when you are commenting on another group that you are not foul-mouthing or, pulling somebody else down or telling, you just have to be very careful about how you have to remember that you are representing yourself all the time. There are oftentimes I am like, delete, because you know exactly that that's going to come back to bite you in the bum. So those kinds of things are important. And I'd like to just say that spelling is important. And I know we all make mistakes, but please read your stuff again before you just throw it out there. So those were just some things. I mean, I know they're not exactly time driven for right now, but it's just something to be conscious of for going forward, which is like English.
Awesome. Madeleine, from you, the top 3 things that you would think that businesses need to do before this lockdown ends. Ooh.
Okay. I had trouble pulling it down to 3. I've got 6.
I was going to say, okay, she fixed her glasses before she started, so I'm like, we're in for a treat. It's like cracking her knuckles before.
I've got a paper. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay, we build websites as well. So for us, it's not just social, it's integrating, and we use CRM systems, we do emailers. So it's a whole holistic approach to what you're doing. But starting first, in this time now, build community, give back, give out free advice. If you do hardware, put out DIY projects that people can do at home. That would be the type of content that I would say, do Q&As, do polls, forums. We're actually revamping our own personal site. We're putting up a forum where people can come and ask questions, and we will give them free advice. So then also what Melissa said, test your numbers, know what works. If you get a boost in numbers, great. If you see that the numbers are useless, do something about it. Look at your content, see who are the people who are engaging. I come from print, where you had to print 10,000 pamphlets and hope for the best. Now you can like literally see who's engaging, how old they are, where they live, are they using a phone? So you can optimize for that. Then relevant, regular content, make a schedule that people can know when to come back. They do enjoy, if they know on a Wednesday, they can expect a really good post or a blog or something that's going to come from you. Make sure that you have a website that can convert. If you have signups, if you need people to make bookings, there's a new booking function on Facebook. If you are selling something, make sure that you actually have them and they can buy something from you 11 o'clock at night when they're lying in bed. Make sure that it's working, it can convert. And then, what was the last one? Oh, brick to click conversion. For us, that means make sure that your business is accurately represented online, whether in social or on your site. if it doesn't 100% talk to someone in your audience, they're not going to buy. It doesn't help you speak the way you want to speak. You have to speak the way your client wants to hear. And that's a very big distinction. So if you want this, I'll send it to you afterwards. I made a bunch of notes, but this would be
commented in the description or in the comments below on the video when we launch it as well, so people can actually find you on YouTube as well. That would be great.
Yes, I'll send this to you, and then you can post it in the comments for them. Okay.
Perfect. So
okay.
From my side, what I think people need to do is learn a new skill. Learn photography, learn graphic design, learn videography, learn something that'll make your business better and make things cheaper for you. So and I'm sorry, and I know, Madeleine, you're a graphic designer, but if you're a business with a limited budget and you are outsourcing your graphic design the whole time, rather go and do a graphic design course. So there's small things you can do on your own and you can save yourself some money. Do customer research. So call your existing customers, find out and ask the difficult questions. I think some of the most difficult things we do, or some of the things we don't do, is phone our customers for feedback because we're scared of getting negative feedback. So phone your customers during this time. They have the time for a phone call. Check in with them, ask them how they are doing, ask them how their business is changing, find out what you did right and what you did wrong, and accept the feedback. Don't make excuses, accept the feedback, and then that's a way that you can definitely know you can change your business for the better going forward.
That's so powerful.
And then the last one that you can do, and this is a big one for me, is write down your customer's journey to you. So where do they find you? How do they hear from you? How do they get to you? And then how, and then your marketing process as well. Write down everything that you use and how everything interlinks. And then with that, find out what you can leave and what you can add, what you can take away, and what you can make better and optimize. So those are my things. So guys, I want to thank you today. Is there anything else anybody wants to add before I do a little bit of a sign off?
I do want to just say, a lot of people, I think, are not confident enough to throw themselves into social media, which is, I mean, I'm going to, again, I might be taken away from what the three of you do, but people need to be less scared of it. You know, it's not, if it goes wrong, so what? Do you know what I mean? Like it's so you pay 100 Rand for an advert that didn't fall anywhere, you know, it's school fees. So I just think a lot of people need to not be so scared of social media and put themselves out there a little bit more, which is just something, I mean, I put myself out there all the time, but you know, you've just got to you just got to go for it. You know, this is not the time to be holding back, being scared of anything. Oh, I don't know anything about it. Like and also, I mean, the three of you are very open to help out or to share examples or any of those things. And you will find people that are willing to help you at any time, especially in you know, nowadays.
Agreed, totally. Totally agree. So what I'll do is, everyone that's been on this call, I'll put your details and your websites in the description of this video so people can find you, as well as your names and a little bit about yourself. And we'll put this on YouTube. So this is it for our first video, which I think was really cool. I think there was a lot of insight, and I want to thank you guys for being on here. I look forward to having you on here again if you want to. I would love to have you on here again. What else do I want to say? Well, just thank you. It's been lovely. So
yeah, if you're doing this again, I would love, I mean, there's so much to talk about with what this adds up to what you were saying just now, Claire. People find social media marketing overwhelming because there's just so much, you know, and if you can maybe do a course, or we can do like a video series where you can say how to start, you know, start small.
Very cool.
You know, look at the platforms, tips, and I would definitely be up for it. So if you guys want, I mean,
fantastic. Melissa, you wanted to add something? Sorry.
I think to what Claire had said, that I think done is better than perfect, and we need to just be, you know, imperfectly perfect is the way to go. Like I'm the first one to say, yes, let's do it, and then figure it out as I go along. And social media is to a certain extent forgiving, and you can just play around with it and see where it goes, and get started is a very good tip, like you said. And thanks for this. It really is great to be part of it.
It's the biggest pleasure. So I look forward to seeing you guys more on Female Entrepreneur Collective. Guys, I'll see you guys very soon. We'll do a next video. We're doing 2 more videos this week on different topics. So I'll post those as soon as we're out of production with those. Remember to hit the subscribe button, and thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yes, hey, thanks. Bye.